The air here is heavy. Can you feel it? It presses against your chest, thick and stagnant, clinging to your skin like a wet shroud. It is not just the heat of a stifling summer, though the sun beats down on these narrow, twisting cobblestone streets with an unrelenting fury. No, the weight you feel is silence. An unnatural, suffocating silence where the cacophony of London should be. Close your eyes for a moment. Listen. You expect the roar of merchants, the clatter of carriage wheels, the shouting of apprentices, the chaotic symphony of a city that never sleeps. But instead, there is only the low, mournful tolling of a church bell in the distance. And then, the sound that freezes the blood in your veins, the slow, rhythmic creak of wooden wheels rolling over stone, and a voice, hoarse and exhausted, crying out the words no soul wishes to hear. Bring out your dead. Open your eyes. You are standing in the shadow of a timber-framed house, the upper stories leaning out so far they almost touch the building across the alley, blocking out the sky. The date does not matter to the dead, but for the living, it is the summer of 1665. You have arrived in a city under siege, but there is no invading army, no cannon fire, no soldiers scaling the walls. The enemy here is invisible. It travels in the breath of a neighbor, the touch of a coin, the bite of a flea. It is the great mortality, the plague. Walk with me now. Keep your cloak pulled tight around your face. Do you smell that? It is a sickening mixture that permeates every corner of this metropolis. The sharp, acrid sting of burning brimstone and saltpeter, fires lit in the streets by desperate order of the Lord Mayor to purify the miasma. The bad air they believe carries the sickness. Beneath the smoke, there is the scent of rotting garbage, of open sewage running in the kennels down the center of the street, and under it all, the sweet, cloying stench of decay. It is the smell of a city decomposing from the inside out. Look at the ground as we step carefully over the filth. The streets are strangely empty of life. Just months ago, this was the heart of the British Empire, bustling with trade and ambition. Now the grass grows between the cobblestones in the middle of Cheapside. The Royal Exchange, usually a hive of shouting merchants, stands silent. The King, Charles II, has fled to Oxford, taking his court and his favorites with him. The lawyers, the rich merchants, the physicians, anyone with a country estate or a horse to carry them has vanished, fleeing the wrath of God. They have left the poor, the servants, and the apprentices behind to face the horror alone. You see that door to your left? Pause here. Look at the rough oak planks. There is a mark painted upon it, crude and dripping, roughly a foot high. A red cross, and scrawled in chalk beneath it, the plea, "Lord, have mercy upon us. This house is shut up. It is a tomb for the living." Inside, a family is trapped by law. One of them, perhaps a child, perhaps the father, has shown the signs. The swelling in the groin or the armpit, the hard, painful knot they call the bubo. Once the doctors or the searchers of the dead identified it, the watchman was called. Do you see him? He sits on a stool nearby, a heavy halberd resting against his shoulder. His job is not to protect the people inside, but to keep them in. For 40 days after the last person dies or recovers, no one enters and no one leaves. Imagine the darkness inside that house. The windows are shuttered. The air is hot and foul. A mother holds her feverish child, watching the black spots, the tokens appear on the skin, knowing those marks are the receipts of death. She hears the screams from the street. She hears the bells, but she cannot leave. She must wait for the sickness to take them one by one. The healthy are locked in with the dying, breathing the same poison air, waiting for their own bodies to betray them. Some go mad from the terror of it. Stories are whispered of fathers murdering their families to spare them the agony, or people throwing themselves from upper windows onto the jagged stones below just to escape the confinement. Let us move on. We must not linger near the breath of the infected. As we turn onto the wider thoroughfare, the devastation becomes more visible. The shops are boarded up. A stray dog skitters across your path, ribs showing through its fur, but before it can reach the other side, a man steps out from the shadows with a heavy club. He strikes it down, hard. Do not judge him too harshly. The Lord Mayor ordered the culling of all dogs and cats, believing they carried the pestilence in their fur. Thousands of them, faithful companions and rat catchers alike, lie dead in piles on the outskirts of the city. The tragic irony, of course, is that by killing the cats, the rats have multiplied unchecked, and with them, the fleas that truly carry the plague. But the people do not know this. They only know fear. The fear makes people do strange things. Look at the passers-by who dare to be out. They walk down the very center of the street, avoiding contact with walls or other people. They hold handkerchiefs pressed to their noses, soaked in vinegar or stuffed with herbs, wormwood, rue, lavender. They believe these sweet smells will ward off the corruption in the air. Some chew on tobacco furiously. Even women and children are encouraged to smoke pipes, for it is said a tobacconist never dies of the plague. You see a man wearing a dried toad around his neck on a string, a desperate amulet purchased from a quack doctor who promised it would draw out the poison. Panic is a profitable business. Fortune tellers and astrologers make a killing, selling charms and horoscopes to the terrified masses, predicting when the comet that blazed across the sky last winter will finally cease its judgment upon London. The sun is beginning to set now, casting long blood-red shadows across the city. This is when the true horror begins. During the day there is a semblance of order, a pretense of civilization. But night belongs to the dead. The bells of the parish churches begin to toll more frequently. Saint Sepulchre, Saint Bride, Saint Giles. It is a relentless, dull thudding against the soul. And now, the carts appear. They are not hearses with plumes and velvet. They are rough, open wagons, piled high. The men walking beside them carry torches, the flickering orange light illuminating their faces, which are wrapped in rags. They ring their handbells. Clang, clang. Bring out your dead. Watch as a door creaks open further down the street. A man emerges, weeping silently. He carries a bundle wrapped in a simple linen sheet. It is small, too small. He hands his child to the barriers. There is no funeral service. There are no mourners allowed to follow. The priest does not stand at the graveside. There is simply too much death for ceremony. The sheer volume of corpses has overwhelmed every custom of English life. The churchyards are full, the ground raised high with the packed earth of fresh graves. Now they are digging the great pits. Follow the cart. Keep your distance, but witness this. We head towards the fields outside the city walls near Aldgate. The ground here is churned up, raw and muddy. A vast trench has been dug, a gaping maw in the earth, deep and wide. The smell here is unbearable. It assaults you, a physical blow to the stomach. The torchlight reveals the scene, a vision of hell painted by the old masters. The cart backs up to the edge of the pit. Without a word, without a prayer, the bodies are tipped out. They tumble into the darkness, landing on the heap of those who came before. Rich and poor, young and old, master and servant, all stripped of their status, their clothes, their dignity. In the pit, they are all the same. The bills of mortality posted on the parish walls try to count them. 5,000 this week, 7,000 the next. But the numbers are meaningless here. Here, there are only bodies. You see the barriers throwing quicklime over the pile to speed the decomposition, the white dust rising like ghostly smoke in the torchlight. It is in this moment, standing at the edge of the pit, that you realize the fragility of the world you thought was permanent. The social order has collapsed. The bonds of family and community have been severed by the instinct to survive. A husband might abandon his wife. A nurse might smother a dying patient to steal their jewelry. The taverns are empty. The playhouse is silent. The only sound louder than the bells is the screaming of the delirium-stricken in the hospitals and the pest houses. Yet amidst this apocalypse, life persists with a stubborn, grim determination. Look back towards the city. In a window high above the street, you see a faint candlelight. A figure sits there reading. Perhaps it is a physician, writing his observations, trying to understand the incomprehensible. Perhaps it is a priest, preparing a sermon for the few who still dare to attend church, preaching that this is a trial of faith. Or perhaps it is simply a survivor, enduring the night, waiting for the dawn. The summer drags on, hot and merciless. September brings the peak of the dying. The grass in the streets grows taller. The silence deepens. It feels as though London will be entirely depopulated, that the city will become nothing more than a vast necropolis of stone and timber, inhabited only by the wind and the ghosts of the unburied. But then, as the weeks bleed into months, the air begins to change. Can you feel it? A sharpness in the breeze. The leaves on the trees turn gold and brown. The nights grow longer and colder. The frost begins to settle on the rooftops in the morning. The cold is the savior. The fleas slow down. The rats retreat. The numbers on the bills of mortality begin to drop. The shut-up houses are slowly opened. The survivors emerge, blinking in the pale winter sun, pale and gaunt, like creatures returning from the underworld. They look at each other with haunted eyes, united by a trauma that words cannot express. They walk the streets again, reclaiming their city from the dead. The king returns. The shops reopen. The noise of London begins to swell once more, tentative at first, then louder, a crescendo of life rushing back to fill the void. But look closely at the faces of the people you pass. The shadow is still there. They flinch at the sound of a cough. They give a wide berth to a rat scuttling in the gutter. They have seen the abyss. They know how quickly the veneer of civilization can be stripped away, how fragile the line is between a bustling city and a silent graveyard. As you fade back from this time, leaving the cobblestones and the smoke of 1665 behind, remember the silence of those streets. We build our cities tall and our walls thick. We write our laws and plan our futures, believing we are masters of our domain. But the wind that blows through the empty alleyways of plague-stricken London whispers a different truth. It whispers of how easily the lights can go out, and how, in the end, we are all at the mercy of the unseen. The Great Fire will come next year to purge these streets, to burn away the filth and the timber and the memory of the plague, building a new stone city upon the ashes. But the scars remain, etched into the history of the earth. A reminder of the summer when death walked openly through the streets of London, and the city held its breath, waiting to die.